Hey, what's up, folks? Jayborino here, continuing Starcraft Pandora, custom campaign for Starcraft 2. This is Mission 6, Vortex. The Chronos Corporation has opened a vortex to a dimension constructed by the Xel'Naga themselves. Within it is told that the Xel'Naga store their most dangerous weapons and imprison the most dangerous creatures. The Zerg gather their strength and follow the CC into the vortex, but the Zerg and Chronos Corporation are not the only ones trying to get the hold of the powerful weapons stored within. Use the button at the top of the screen to change from ground to space control. Alright, let's see what that's about. Unknown Moon. Zerg main base. So it sounds like we're going to be playing as the Zerg this time. The crew of the WASP. Well, really just, what was her name? Our Reaper buddy? She joined them and really didn't want King coming along. We have started to construct a base on this moon. Here we will gather resources to strengthen our armada in space. In space, we have constructed 3 stargates. That is all we had time to build, and we do not have the means to build any more. Our armada is waiting to be warped in. These are the first ones. The Chronos Corporation has at least one space station guarding the vortex. We will have to destroy it or we will never make it in. We have not detected any ground forces, so we should be able to gather resources undisturbed. Something tells me that that's probably not true, Kalrash. This will be a battle in both ground and in space, and it will take a great fleet to destroy that space station. I should warn you, the Terrans already have moved some forces through the vortex. We have to go in there and vanquish them. Understood. AJ! That's the name I was thinking of. AJ. So AJ volunteered to help, and I believe Dean as well, but King said nah. Well, King said yes, but AJ didn't want him there because he basically ruined everything by getting them all involved in this in the first place because he was addicted to stims and needed the Chronos Corporation to pay off his debt, which is why we were hunting down the Uraj and Kalas crystals in the first place. All right! In this mission, you will fight in both ground and space by clicking the button at the top. We know. You can't have ground forces in space and vice versa. Warning, due to the mechanics of this map, the use of the Select All Army button can cause problems on this map. So don't use F2. Alrighty, I can get behind that. Something tells me gas is going to be the biggest hot commodity here, so let's get some gas set up right away. And you know what? I think there's a lot of mineral patches here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to build a second Nexus. That may seem crazy, but that's what I'm going to do. So all the missions so far in this campaign have actually been pretty hard. Verging on unforgiving, especially that last map. We do have a decent starting force here that I would feel pretty comfortable with defending, assuming they don't come at us with a bunch of Mutalisks or anything like that. But let's go ahead and move on up and just hang out. So what I'm thinking is we're probably going to want to get, push towards Colossi, which is what I generally do in the ground game, and just do Colossi, Stalkers, Immortals, move our way up, and I see Creep right here, so we're probably going to have to destroy some Zerg bases. I don't know why the Zerg are here. Maybe it will make sense once we get going, but push into the Zerg bases and take their resources so that we can get started with whatever's going on in space here. Let's check this out real quick. Okay, relatively small force, and yeah, we've got our 3 stargates. The question is, will they even attack? Will they be attacking us in space or not? So I kind of want to be building in space because we have to make. Well, obviously, I'm just gonna make a bunch of carriers, right? It's tempting to make scouts, but oh my god, 300, 206 supply? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We can, for 50 more of each, we can get carriers. I mean, scouts seem decent, but no way. Absolutely not. Wait a minute though. Photon blasters. That's a ton of damage versus ground units. That doesn't seem right. Because the antimatter, I think these are switched. I think the antimatter missiles are supposed to do 1632, and the photon blasters are supposed to do 5. Something's wrong there. So that just makes scouts worthless here because their AA is not good. They're only doing 5 damage. Anyway, let's go back, and now we know what's going on there. Okay. Seems like tabbing back and forth causes problems, so I'm gonna do I'm probably just gonna, nope, didn't want to click that. Now everything's gonna be wrong again. Ugh. Oh no, now it seems okay. So I'm gonna try not to switch to space until we're ready. I sense something immensely powerful, and we should take great care. No! Ground! Greetings again, children. You thought me defeated? I am not so easily killed. My Zerg have come here to reclaim the crystal and what treasures that lie within this vortex. So that's the Zerg. So that's the Zerg creature from Mission 3, I think. Not that thing again. It seems that the Zerg have taken control of areas with minerals and Vespene gas. We could use those expansions for our own. It's risky, but can be rewarded. We can be rewarding. We shall see if we have the warriors to spare. We'll definitely have the warriors to spare, Kalrash. Don't you worry. All right, let's just stay saturated here. So it seems like switching to space causes all of our probes to just stop mining, interestingly enough. So that's something I have to keep in mind. And yeah, I built 2 nexuses here pretty much just to make sure that we can get these things saturated really, really fast. This probe is just sitting here. Get back. Come on, buddy. It's like they almost like glitched into the ground. They're like sitting in front of the geysers. Interesting. Do we have any other random stuff? Random attack must have been a Mutalisk because these 3 units took damage and not very much, so it must have been a couple Mutalisks. So maybe we'll put up a couple cannons, but frankly, I think I'm feeling really comfortable with what I have going on. Based on the pylon colors, it looks like, yeah, this is like this is the multiplayer way to play Protoss, where only your pylons that are close to your Nexi allow you to warp in at a reasonable speed. Otherwise, if I were to warp in, let's do a stalker up here, it's going to take really, really, really long. It would warp in at normal speed, though, if I warped in on one of those teal-colored pylon circles alternatively. So let's just focus on getting a bunch of money right now, and really it just depends on how frequently the Zerg are going to attack. Looks like they're coming in with a lot of Mutalisks constantly. I'm really not that concerned about this type of attack. I mean, we'll move my Stalkers up. Random Vipers, too. Interesting. Don't be doing that to me. Okay, let's back up. And again, the question is, how much will the Zerg really be attacking me? I just want to get this all saturated. Very interesting mineral layout. We have a lot of minerals here and a lot of gas, too. So for now, I'm just going to focus on getting my upgrades. We want to be upgrading our air attacks very quickly as well, because I want to get to 333 in the air. That would be most ideal. Next thing I'm going to do is grab a robo facility, some pylons, then a robo support bay, and then just start pumping out colossi and so on and so forth. Really just colossi and immortals. I'll probably just get 2 robo facilities, and then we just need a lot of pylons. Get like 6 gateways. We have so much money here, we can afford to produce off that much. So let's just not stop with our production here. We're going to get a few more stalkers to defend us. I'd rather actually spend money just to get more cannons, because Mutalisks aren't going to perform too well against like 4 to 5 cannons. That'll just tear up Mutalisks that come in, and then I can just save up my stalkers for when we attack. Which probably means that there's going to be a lot of Mutalisks in the Zerg bases themselves, so that's why I'm just going to hold out. And I don't plan on making too many Zealots. Zealots are something that when you attack into like a fully defended base, you make like 4 or 5 Zealots just to soak up some initial hits, and then they're going to die. And then, you know, especially if there's Banelings or like fungal growth, you know, you have the enemy below fungal growth on your Zealots. And then on top of that, you make like 6 or 7 Zealots to follow up after the main force has been broken through, and then you'll be able to push through much easier. That, in my experience, is the best way to work that. But what do I know? Okay, so now let's just save some money. I might even get some more probes. It's hard to tell how saturated we are here. It seems like we could probably afford to get a few more, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and get a robo facility to get this started. Let's build it a little closer to the front, because we do have quite a long way to go up to the top. Basically, I just want to be saving my money until I get enough money to smash my way through the air portion, and I think if we got like 8 carriers, we won't have a problem, especially if the AI just is concerned with the interceptors. I've noticed on certain maps, I'm not sure how the enemy AI is programmed to work, but in some instances, the enemy will go for your carriers, like on that Legacy of the Void carrier mission, for example, or they'll just shoot for your interceptors. It really depends. So we've got expansions. The Zerg have taken control over possible expansion sites. We'll go for that. Chronos Corporation is now your enemy. Destroy their space station guarding the Vortex. If your Nexus and your main base is destroyed, the mission will end in defeat. All right, well, that's not going to happen. Don't you worry. Believe you me. And that's coming up. And I'm thinking we just go ahead and lay down 4 more gateways. We get our robo support bay somewhere over here where it's not obstructing things. And then we also need a fleet beacon so that we can make our carriers. Let's go ahead and get another pylon. And then let's get a fleet beacon right there. And yeah, the Mutalisk attacks, 4 cannons should be enough to destroy 2 to 3 Mutalisks. Now, unless the attacks are going to ramp up, but I haven't really seen any proof to think that that's actually going to happen. So I'm just going to keep plugging along with my upgrades here and spend my money accordingly. Also, I'm just going to need a lot more pylons, so we might as well just throw these down wherever we have space. Space is a semi-hot commodity. It's also because I didn't really put my buildings in optimal spots. Are you stuck back there? No, you are not. What a dream. So 6 gateways should be more than enough. Alternatively, I could, you know, chance making a Dark Shrine to see if maybe we have Shadow Fury, because that just will annihilate anything on the ground. Who needs Colossi when you have Shadow Fury? That's what I say. I am going to get crazy and get 2... I'm going to get 2 robo facilities. I understand that it's expensive to produce off of. Yeah, see, I am taking a little extra damage on these. Can I make shield batteries? No, I can't. Okay, so let's just get more cannons then. I'm really not that worried, but we might as well get this all set up properly. And I'll make an observer in advance, and then we'll just start pumping out tons and tons of stuff. It's tempting to leave my chrono on my research buildings, but I might just go ahead and chrono my robo facilities instead. Okay, yeah, the range of the Nexus for the pylon warping is actually pretty far. That's further than I expected. Interesting. I don't know. I really don't play much multiplayer, so I don't really know how that works. There's also a warp prism upgrade here, even though we can't make warp prisms, just pointing out. Looks like they are coming at us with some small ground forces here. Not a big deal. Now it's time. We're going to make Colossi. I would like to get like 4 to 6 Colossi and then just start pumping Immortals like crazy. Just tons and tons of Immortals, because Immortals can kill most everything on the ground. And then, you know, you get some Stalker backup to kill Mutalisks, and then you're pretty much safe. I understand Immortals are expensive for what you're getting. I could just do mostly Stalkers instead. But it just depends on what the enemy is really fielding. If they have a lot of Ultralisks, then we want to get like 4 to 6 Immortals, 4 to 6 Colossi, and then just a big ball of Stalkers, and then we're going to be fine. We are going to be just dandy. Let's get weapons level 3. Pretty fast to get that, actually. We'll get level 2, and then weapons 3 for air units. And then once we have Thermal Lance, we get 2 to 3 Colossi out, and then we can start attacking. They're just randomly sending Overlords up here. Cool. And then our Photon Cannons will get a little beefier, too, as we upgrade shields. Not a huge benefit, but something. Now, I don't want to get too many ground units, because as they die, we won't be able to make... Or no, as they don't die, we won't be able to make air units because of our supply block here. So I'm going to get Graviton Catapult. Anti-Impulse Crystals, I mean, not really worth it, just because I don't really plan on making too many units other than carriers in the air. I'm going to get 2 more Colossi, and then we're going to go. And start just... We should be able to just smash through this map very quickly with this type of ground force. Again, if you get, like, probably 6 Colossi, nothing will be able to stand up to that. So we're going to be in really, really good shape. Also, our air units are getting some good upgrades here. We can get level 3 shields. How are we doing on gas? These geysers are going to run out. So it does say that there are Zerg expansions to take, so I'm building up a large ground force, hoping that I'm not going to have to really worry about the Zerg in the sense that I'll be able to take some bases and get a ton of extra gas that way. So once these 2 Colossi are done, we're going to be ready to go. Honestly, I could probably move with just 2. They're coming in with 3 to 4 Mutalisks at a time, and with 6 cannons grouped up, they probably won't be able to pierce through any of the shields. Okay, looking good. That was my Graviton Pulse, or Graviton Catapult, and then... Now, I could just get level 3 shields and then just keep upgrading my Air Force, but I think I'd rather try to take some of these Zerg bases first. So let's do that. Let's come on over here. I do have my Observer that's going to probably end up auto-attacking itself in and dying. Okay, and I'm trying to avoid going into space. See, you can see all my Zealots are pretty much already gone. They're going to run ahead, and I could try to do some, you know, have some fancy control to avoid that from happening, but frankly, I don't get rid of them. I need the supply for later anyway. I'm just gonna get rid of them. So let's destroy this and try to take this base. There's some geysers there that we can take, and probably set up some static defense with the anticipation that there's gonna be some Mutalisks flying in here. Lots of Banelings. And this is working out just fine. You know, I'm throwing away some units here that don't need to be thrown away, but ultimately it's really not a big deal. We'll just keep moving across the map in this way. We can see the direction that they're coming from. Did I lose? No, I didn't lose my Observer. Let's look around and see if there's creep tumors that we can get rid of. Nice. Just to make sure that we can do what we need. And then I want to just set up a few cannons just to make sure that they don't try to bring drones down here to rebuild this, because that would be very annoying. I see some creep to the left. sending units from here, this may be the only path that they can take to get down here. If so, I'm going to set up some cannons right away to either intercept the Mutalisks or to stop drones from coming down to try to rebuild, because that would get very annoying. So let's bring a probe up here to set this up, and then keep pushing in this direction. We've got a lot of money saved up. Let's continue our upgrades. Shields. We're going to be 3-3-3 here in no time. And it's possible... I think I've been using F2. And if I've used F2, I heard my Phoenix make a noise like it was attacking something. And if that's the case, I've screwed myself a little bit. Okay, also sort of seems like my probe got caught out, so, yeah, here they are sending some ground units here. Almost like a non-stop stream, actually. Let's come down here to make sure that they're not rebuilding this. We can split these forces. You guys stay here. Of course they're rebuilding that. All right, let's send another probe to try to get this going. Set this up. Well, okay, set this up. I'll figure it out. Yeah, but they're going to be rebuilding, it seems like. I always just sort of assume, unless given a reason to otherwise think, that the enemy's most likely just going to rebuild constantly. Those Mutalisks seem like they're coming from this direction. That's very interesting. I hate to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and set up a pylon here, as long as I don't block the geysers, because we're going to have to defend against those Mutalisks. Then come up here, and we're going to set up some cannons. Those Mutalisks must be spawning from off-screen. Okay. And I want to switch to space to see what I've done to screw up the units that I've had there. But frankly, I think that I've blown it already, and doing that means I'm just going to have to set all my units back to mining. So again, that's a small, minor bug. But it's not the biggest of deals. It's a minor bug. Not being able to switch back and forth. But it seems like my space forces aren't getting attacked. Though honestly, I don't know that. Maybe they are. If my space forces aren't getting attacked, though, then I don't have to really worry about tabbing back there. All right, we're getting mined out here pretty quick. We're just going to transfer all these probes up here momentarily once this all gets set up. And I don't really need the minerals here as much as I need the gas. So I'm just going to set up cannons in my mineral line, and I know that's a little goofy, unfortunately. You guys get back to... No, don't go all the way back. Don't go all the way back. They're going all the way back. That's okay. Cancel this. There's really no good spot to put these cannons, but see this, and that's exactly what I expected to happen. I could just leave stalkers in my mineral line, but I don't want to have to, you know? Yeah, that's gonna get frustrating to have to do. Okay, and then just lots of stalkers, and then we've got immortals and colossi coming up. I'm going to get more immortals, and then we're going to push up and try to smash through the next zerg area. And we should be in really good shape. The question is just dealing with any of those Mutalisks that are coming in. And there's no good spot to stop them, because it seems like they come from over here. I've got those cannons, which will keep me in play for a while. I'm not even going to make extra probes, because we're going to be mined out here very soon. I'm just going to move these up here. It's not a Broodlord, is it? I thought I saw a Broodlord. And you know, with +3 shields, we're going to be able to fend these attacks off. You know, they'll chip away at us slowly, but I think this is worth it as long as we're getting the gas income. Let's go ahead and take what we have, and we have 6 colossi. That should be enough to really deal with anything we need. So here's my plan: is I'm going to destroy the zerg bases and take all their income, and then probably what I'm going to plan on doing is I'm probably just going to tab over to the space tab, make a quick cut in the video, and just build like 8 carriers, and then come back after that, because otherwise we're just going to be waiting for carriers. Yeah, it's like non-stop over here. Could be frustrating. Luckily, these guys come in range of my cannons. It seems like my shields recharge fast enough to secure, you know, solid defense with only 2 cannons there, and then, you know, with the +3 shields, that does help, even if it's only minor. Okay, we've got a whole new area here. It seems like, well, there's more Zerg bases down there, but they can only come from one direction. There's a lot of Banelings, so this is another reason why I'm not going to make any Zealots. Normally, I would make Zealots to follow up and clean this stuff up, but I absolutely don't have to. Are these the old Immortals? It seems like they have... No, they have the same range as Stalkers. For a second, I thought that they were the old Immortals that had one range less than Stalkers, which were very challenging to use, if you ask me. Okay, another area down, and it seems like the only direction they can come from is up here. So I'm going to grab another probe. See, I'm going to grab this guy. We're going to come up here and plant him here to take more gas, and then I'm going to take the rest of these probes and just transfer them over here. And then these guys, there's more than enough to mine this out here. So that's done. Let's get level 3 air. I'm trying to think, how much gas do we need for 8 carriers, assuming the one that we had there died because I used F2 like an idiot. It's very tempting to also kill even more of the Zerg, though I don't have to, so I'm not going to. We're totally mined out down here. So let's throw down this Nexus here with simulators. I'm going to make pylon right here to make cannons, just in case the Mutalisks end up coming from that direction. I'm going to make a pylon over here to make cannons, and we are cooking with gas. I just use F2 again. It's a really hard habit to break when I just want to select all my army, because that probe was moving through these units, so I wanted to box them, but I would have grabbed the probe. I didn't want to have to grab the probe. It's a silly reason, but frankly, that's why. Okay, let's grab 5 more probes and bring them up here to mine from gas when it's time. That's stupid. Let's just go ahead and set up cannons here, because it seems like where those overlords are floating through, and we can snag the Vipers too. This is fine. I mean, occasionally the bounce might end up killing my... The bounce might end up killing some of my my probes, which would be really sad, but whatever. Okay, and then I do want to push down more. I want to just push down here only because there's a possibility that I'll just lose all my units, or lose some of my units, and free up supply for more carriers. But, again, I don't really want to tab to the space tab, because when I do that, it seems to mess up all of my probes from mining. What's happening here? Oh, it looks like we've got a height issue with some of these mineral patches. Huh, so I can't right-click this mineral patch? But I can as long as you can right-click one of them, then your probes will auto-mine into other ones. That's very interesting. You remember when I played the Predator, I had a slight issue like that as well. Okay, so let's grab one probe. We'll set up a couple cannons. We don't need a lot. He says, I don't need a lot, and then makes 6. Okay. Looking good. And then I should have... What is this, 4 Nexi? I have enough Nexi to chrono all of those Stargates as well. 1,900 gas, so what is it, 250? So 250 for... So 1,000 for 4, so we can make 8. We can make 8 now, actually, if I only wanted 8. Or I could make more. Just for fun, let's attack down into this base and see how far we can get. You know, once these cannons finish, we're safe no matter what happens. Oh no, oh no. Well, I deserve that. I lost my observer. I'll make one more observer just because I lost them. Maybe there's a trigger that can be used where it's like if you're... That like when you click this button, it changes all of your units owned to non-controllable, or it changes their faction, and then it changes them back to you when you go back to space. Because that way it'll make it so that you can use F2 and it won't grab your other army units. But then what that would be basically doing is it's freezing time for whichever side that you're currently not looking at. Yeah, send your... Oh no! Well, whatever. We're here now. Ground game is gone. I accidentally hit the button, so this is what we're doing. 9, 10. That's 10 carriers. I am going to cut here and then come back when we have our carriers ready to go. Bye now. All right, what can I say? I couldn't help myself. I made 12. Another interesting thing, well, not really interesting, but I decided, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and destroy all the Zerg. So I destroyed all the Zerg, and when I tapped back, I noticed that my probes that were mining gas were just sort of missing. And if you go back to space, here they are. Some of them are just magically floating through space. I don't get it. Weird little thing, right? So I really like the concept of this map. I think it just needs some polish. It just needs some minor bug fixing, specifically going back and forth between ground and space. It might be interesting if very mild attacks, very mild, like 2 or 3 wraiths attack at your stargates every so often. I mean, if you want to make it so that your air base gets attacked, you absolutely need to make sure that there's no bugs between the ground and the space transition. So you need to make sure that your probes don't randomly stop mining. You got to make sure that probes that are mining gas don't randomly just disappear and get transferred to the space portion of the map. Also fixing the F2. Now, I don't know how hard it is to fix these types of things, and if it's an insane challenge, then just leave it the way it is and have it be a little buggy, and that's fine, because I'm still enjoying this. It's just sort of, I mean, it's a kill everything map, but it's from 2 different perspectives. So we had the opportunity to make a butt ton of, wait, is this the objective? This doesn't look like it, because on the cutscene screen at the beginning, there were like a million wraiths surrounding it. It didn't end, so I assume this is not the end. There must be another one further up. But yeah, if you can fix the transitions, all the things that I've pointed out, then you could make it so that maybe your space base gets attacked a few times, and, you know, it has like 2 or 3 cannons there that can help you automatically, but, you know, you actually have to build some stuff. You actually have to build some units there to make sure that it stays up. There's also minerals here that you can gather, which is kind of a nice touch. What's happening? This is taking too long. We must reach the Vortex now. I will enter the battle myself. Aw, hell yeah, Kalrash. Let's go, buddy.
The centuries.
All right, make some interceptors. Kalrash is the current leader of the Zerg. Rash is title granted to those chosen of higher command in the Zerg. Being hundreds of years old, Kalrash has seen much and has protected the Crystal Callus for decades. Being a powerful Protoss, he has both Psionic Storm and Void Prison in his arsenal. In addition to his psionic prowess, he's an excellent tactician and pilot. Okay, cool. So I was thinking, like, can I use those abilities in the carrier? The answer is no, which is, you know, what I would expect, right? Let's go ahead and keep looking for a path. It seems like these are not traversable, even though we're in space, interestingly enough. Well, let's see. No, yeah, he can't go around this stuff, so. It's like a no-fly zone, basically. Okay, let's come on down and we can meet him, because I don't want him to be running into random enemies. See, here's a bunch of probes as well. I mean, clearly the map is split in 2, and the rest of the map is on the left side of the bounds of this side, and that's where they would meet up. Okay, unfortunately, he can't come through here either. So let's just go. He's getting left behind. He'll make his way around eventually. Let's go ahead and right-click here, and then right-click up to my other carriers, and he'll figure it out eventually. Can we squeeze through here? Yeah, we can. It doesn't look like we're supposed to, though, so we'll keep going around. And it seems like the air enemies, like I was talking about, there was like an AI thing where sometimes it seems like the enemies, I don't know how to do this, but they're programmed to ignore interceptors. And you know what it is? I think it is on when the AI is set to hard, or possibly brutal. I don't know about hard, but on brutal I've noticed, and I've talked about this in my Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void playthrough, so for like roachlings, if you get corpser roaches, I generally don't get those on brutal difficulty. I won't pick those, because even though they're very good, the enemies tend to ignore spawn units. The enemies tend to ignore spawn units on a certain difficulty. I think it's brutal. I don't know about hard. We almost have Kalrash caught up to the rest of our army. You'll make it there eventually, buddy. It also kind of looked like his upgrades. Yeah, it looks like he gets double from every upgrade. That's pretty great. All right, random probes. I don't know what's going on with you buddies, but that's fine. That's fine with me. Kalrash has made it. I assume we're getting close, unless this wraps around 2 or 3 more times, but I doubt it. And this is super overkill. I probably only needed 4 carriers, considering the enemies just ignore your carriers and go for the interceptors. Or, you know, it's kind of the opposite. It's more that they don't ignore spawned units. Alrighty. And, you know, I think maybe the Zerg attacks, the Zerg could have been a little more furious with how they attacked. It seemed like they just sent very small attacks at you. For the most part, they sent... it looked like just Mutalisks, but maybe have it so that they send those Ultralisks, send those Banelings, send those Hydralisks. You know, of course, ramp it up at the beginning. Very small attacks, just a couple Zerglings, but by minute 6, minute 10, you start seeing larger attacks. Minute 15, larger attacks. Actually puts the pressure on the player to push out and take those expansions. And we did it. My carriers killed that station I wasn't really even targeting it, but it was hostile, so that's why they wiped it out. Fight on, my warriors. We have to destroy that station. You will not succeed, Protoss. This will end now. The space station will annihilate you. Captain, fire at will. What the? Who? So the space station just blew up. Woohoo! It seemed like you guys needed a little help. I think that that big battlecruiser, the Gorgon battlecruiser, is supposed to be King. King. Richard, you came back? Even after I was a total jerk? Yeah, you missed me, my love? I couldn't let you guys have all the fun. Well, now I can tie up some loose ends, all in one sweep. Come on, guys, hurry, into the Vortex. Yeah, so I think that big battlecruiser was him. It probably wasn't supposed to spawn the way that it did, and it was probably supposed to come in and shoot at the station, and it would blow up. So again, really minor things. They're, you know, bugs. And the way I always approach bugs when I play these maps are bugs are things that can be found and they can be fixed. So this campaign is technically marked as in release, and it's completed. The last mission is out. You know, if Halt Manable really wants to return to these and, you know, apply some fixes, that's up to him. And I think that with just a tiny bit of polish, these maps can go from good but buggy to good/great. Because I actually quite like the story. You know, the dialogue could use some polish. I think it, you know, there's a English as a second language barrier going on there. But I like the overall, the broad strokes of the story. I like the idea that we're playing with this crew from the WASP. This guy's been addicted to drugs. And, you know, as we got through mission 4 and 5, we saw why we were even in this situation. Is because King needed money to pay for stims, and then he borrowed money from Chronos to pay off his debts, so now he's working for Chronos to get the crystals, which set off this whole thing with the Zerg. It's actually quite well done. I like it a lot. You know, again, it's just the dialogue being written slightly differently. There's just a few typos here and there. Not a big deal. These things are not big deals, but I do like to point them out, just so that if a map maker chooses to make these fixes, they can. I think Halt Manimal has actually moved on to some new projects, which I encourage a lot. So I'm actually looking forward to checking out what new is coming, because I've noticed, especially, and in Pandora especially, each map has been better than the last. I think, well, actually, Mission 5 was probably my favorite so far. I really liked that installation mission. It was tough, though. It was very hard. All right, well, this has been JayborinoPlays. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.